Welcome back, everybody, to the Cage podcast. I am Ryan, joined as always is Sterling. It's been a couple weeks. I I personally had a few busy weeks. I wasn't able to be on the show, so it's been a couple weeks, Sterling, but we're back at it.
Yeah, that's you had a couple busy weeks, and then I had no fucking time because I'd get home from work and go straight to the garage. So
Yeah, you're getting your sprint car already, so looking to live the dream.
I don't know about the dream, but I'm looking to live a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, hey man, it definitely is the dream. I mean, I've always dreamed of, running a car, and I'm sure a lot of people watching this, are race fans. And I think every race fan has the dream of, sitting behind the wheel of something that isn't the uh local just go-kart track, I want to say,
Yeah, that's I'm pretty lucky to have the people I do around me because without
Yeah,
them, I'd be fucked.
yeah, for sure. So that definitely, like I said, that is exciting, Sterling. And yeah, I'm sure I speak for everybody when we wish you the best. And like I said, I mean, it's definitely something that I've always wanted to, sit behind the wheel of something that is faster than the local or K1. I think
Yeah,
K1 go karts. I think is the fastest I've ever raced, quote unquote. So I mean that definitely be fun. I was even for a while there, you're probably gonna make fun of me, but there was a guy at work that was into racing four-cylinder cars, and I honestly thought about buying one of his old ones just to feel the thrill of racing, and it wasn't that pricey.
yeah, that class has really gotten out of hand, though. It's
Oh, it has, yeah, yeah. I just like I said, he was selling a car for like $1,500, and I was like, oh man, like $1,500 if I race 5 times, like cool. Like I just,
yeah,
like
and
I
I
said,
don't.
I'm like you, Sterling. I've always had the itch to just.
Yeah, and I don't give a shit what you're racing. If you're racing, you're
Yeah,
racing.
exactly. That's what I mean. Yeah, I just always had the itch to race something. So I definitely, like I said, I wish you the best. And hopefully everything works out and you can move up the ranks, and pretty soon I'll be seeing you at Lernerville racing the high limit series with Kyle Larson and all them guys.
It's probably not this year. We definitely lack on the equipment, so
Yeah, yeah.
right
No,
now
hey,
it's just about getting used to being back in a car.
yeah, you got to start somewhere, and you're farther than I ever have been. So good for you. So, and I mean that. So, yeah, let's get right into it. So we won't bore everybody with I guess our personal lives too much. But so we're back at it DFS wise. Pocono this weekend. I was at the race last year. It was a blast. I wish I was there again this year. I saw Dale Jr. got the win, his first time crew chief. I'm sure he made all the calls and set the car up and
Right?
everything like that. But yeah, I mean that was cool to see. I didn't catch a lap of it. Honestly, I
I
didn't catch
didn't either. I was over at the Knox Raceway for their Enduro, and I guess I about got ran over quite a few times. But
I missed the truck race. I was at work. It started what 5? I got off at 7, and it was already like I got to my truck and it was 9 laps to go. I'm like, shit, I missed the whole damn truck race too. Uh so tomorrow will be the first time I'm seeing racing a Pocono this weekend. But looks like we're gonna navigate some chalk. But I guess before we get into that, we will go over the sheets. Sterling does a really great job on these sheets. Every week he has these posted in the Discord. Um, so if you want to get in that Discord, definitely just definitely get in it. It's a lot of great minds in there. It's free, no charge. You don't even have to. If you're just one of those that likes to get in and just read the stuff, you don't have to contribute anything. Um, just half the time, I just sit back and learn stuff. So I will post a link to the Discord in the comment section after this video is posted. So definitely click that link. Like I said, you can join We're happy to have you, and definitely, just talk racing, talk DFS, talk whatever you want to talk. So,
Yeah, and I do want to quickly point out that for some reason, sometimes that link either doesn't post right or is expired or whatever. You can just hit up one of us on Twitter and or X, whatever the fuck you want to call it, and we'll get you a link.
yeah, absolutely. I'm at Ryan Mail 38. That's my personal X account. I did have one for fantasy football, but I don't remember that one off the top of my head. And Sterling, you're
SRT 41 underscore DFS. It should show up on the screen right now.
okay. Cool, cool. So yeah, these sheets are great. Like I said, if you want, we're gonna go over them real fast. But if you want to slow it down, look at them. They're free in the Discord. Sterling, of course, does a great job with these. So the first one we're gonna look at is Pocono finishes, and so we have the last three Pocono races. This is the next gen era, and these are the average over on the right hand side. The average finish of all three races. So Denny Hamlin has been the Pocono King. I feel like his whole career. What's he have, like 6 wins or something here? Something ridiculous. I
Quite a
can't.
bit, yeah.
Yeah, something ridiculous. So
And this has been his version of Jimmy Johnson at Dover.
you're exactly right. So yeah, Denny Hamlin in the next gen era average finish of 1.33. Can't get much better than that. Yeah, Reddick, Elliott. I'm trying to see if anybody else really sticks out. Bowman hasn't been terrible. He has that 124th place finish. It probably sets him back a little bit. Larson, I see Larson. I remember last year, like Larson just didn't seem like he had the speed here. Um,
No, this is a track style that he has always struggled at. Doesn't matter what type of car. Like I always compare Martinsville to Williams Grove, and he struggled at Williams Grove in a sprint car. He eventually figured it out. Eventually figured out Martinsville. So I would assume he eventually figures out Pocono. I just don't think it's this year.
yeah, that was like I said. Being there, you kind of see stuff that maybe they don't talk about on the TV, and that was one thing I noticed was like Larson just doesn't seem like he's Kyle Larson at Pocono, and I think, like we joked last year, Kyle Busch was getting passed on the straightaways by Cody Ware. I was blown away by that. I can't believe that RCR engines were getting outran by Rick Ware Racing, but that was
Yeah.
happening every straightaway.
And then one thing I want to point out about that 2022 race, Hamlin did win it. Bush did finish second, but they were both
Mhm.
DQ'd, and Chase Elliott actually got the win. So
Yep. I do remember that both of them were DQ'd. So this is the Pocono finishes, guys. Great thing to look at, obviously, when you're building your DFS lineup. So next tab we'll go over real quick. This is average running position. So of course, every lap they tick off, they'll basically register where they were where they were running, and then they average that out through the whole race. So Denny Hamlin average running a fifth last year, eighth, and sixth. So he is top dog again. Here's where we got Byron. Byron comes into play. Bell. I mean, Larson here isn't terrible, but one that sticks out to me is Reddick, because wasn't Reddick? Yeah, Reddick was second with an average finish of fourth, but his average running position is second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. So he must be, I don't know, making late charges or running on some fuel strategy or something. Because this is normally a fuel strategy race.
yeah, this race is really, honestly, it's kind of just like a giant road course.
It really is, and this is my bitch for the whole next gen car. I hate this stupid one lug nut thing where like people are like having to stay in the pit box for an extra long time while like they get the four tires already done, and then it takes longer to put the fuel in the car. I hate that.
The worst thing about that is when these guys fuck up a tire. Like, you got
Yeah,
time to be careful. Get that fucking thing on there.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I bitch about that all the time. It's like they sit there, change the tires, and they got 2 extra seconds, and the fuel man's still fueling the car, then they forget to put the fucking tire on, like you said. It is. I
I just
wish
hate this car in general,
I
though.
do too. I mean, that's a bitch we could probably bitch about for a half hour. I wish they'd at least get back to the 5 lug nuts
One
so
of
we
these days, we're gonna have to get like Brad and Cam Fan, some guys on here, and just have a fucking bitch fest about this
Yeah,
car.
yeah, we will. We will. We just, yeah, this is terrible. I hate the tires, I hate everything, so, yeah, go back to the 5 lug nuts where we didn't have to sit here and worry about short pit stops and stupid stuff, I don't know, but anyway, this is the average running position. Like I said, if you wanna take a look at this even farther, join that Discord, or if you're already in the Discord, Sterling will post it. So, here's another interesting tab. The quality passes. Obviously, if you're looking for place differential, which spoiler alert, we probably are today.
Yeah, seems
Flash.
like that's pretty much what everything's gonna be with this
Yeah.
race.
Yep. So you're definitely gonna want to look for somebody who quote unquote can pass. So Chase Elliott pops out here, which is surprising, and then Tyler Reddick, who was second in the finishes there. Hamlin, who's been popping in every category.
And
Larson, Eric Jones, look at that.
yeah, and he's one of those guys that if you've been following along or if you pay attention to charts like this, every track that he pops at, he continues to run very well at. So
Yeah, yeah, he has. Um, yeah, oh yeah, Ross Chastain blew up or something last year. I was like, Ross Chastain with only one pass. That's right, something happened to him last year. He wrecked or blew up, but all right. So obviously with DFS, we want fast cars that go fast, fast laps, equal out to 0.45 points. So obviously you want cars that can go and produce fast laps. So once again, Denny Hamlin. This is kind of an interesting one. Josh Berry last year with 13. I don't know. Trying to think of
he has
why.
an Xfinity win here.
Yeah, he must get around here pretty good. Kyle Busch, but he just had that one good year. Blaney had that one good year. It looks like Denny Hamlin's the only real consistent one. Chris Buescher has won in all 3 races. Alex Bowman has at least one in all 3 races. Uh, yeah, it looks like the only real consistent one's Denny Hamlin.
You could somewhat argue Ty Gibbs just because he didn't.
Yeah. Oh, Chase Elliott. There's Chase Elliott. He has 7, 4,
Yeah,
and 8. So yeah, I kind of overpassed him. And like you said, Ty Gibbs, he was super fast here last year. I remember that he qualified on the pole, and they just had stupid pit strategy. That's probably one of the reasons why that crew chief still wasn't there anymore. But then again, they gave him to Denny Hamlin. This is percentage of laps in the top 15. This is a nice stat to look at, but this isn't, tell all be all. Laps led.
I just real quick want to hit on that top 15 thing.
Yeah.
Or I just feel like that is a pretty good chart to look at for shit like top 10 bets.
Yeah, yeah. That I would, look at this for, yeah. Yep, if you're a top 10 better, and you get trying to think here, like Eric Jones, I don't know where off the top of my head, I can't remember where Eric Jones is starting, but Eric Jones looks like a good top 10 bet if he's plus money, which I would assume that probably is. I'm gonna actually look at that right now. I'm kinda curious. I honestly don't forget off the top of my head where he's even starting at.
To be honest, I can't tell you where too many people are starting.
Uh, oh, they don't even have the odds up yet. Oh, here's one for you, Sterling. Which we figured that this was coming eventually. but they have the in-season challenge odds up right now. The
I don't even know what that is.
Oh, that's that mid-season tournament they're doing.
Oh, I forgot all about that.
Yeah, that starts this is the last week for the seeding, and then, next week starts the first round, so I hope they have, like, head-to which DraftKings sponsors it, so I'm sure they'll have all sorts of bets, but I hope they have, like, head-to-head bets, stuff like that, like, you can bet on underdogs, you know, whatever. So, like, you can bet on each matchup is kinda what I'm getting at. 'Cause I feel like there's gonna obviously in NASCAR be some upsets. So, but yeah, percentage of laps top 15. That's great to look at. So, this is laps led. I'm actually gonna look up to see where Eric Jones is starting. Super quick. Eric Jones.
Something that pops out to me here that is actually kind of surprising is Kyle Larson leading 18 and 24 in the first two races here in the next gen.
Yeah, yeah. 11. So Eric Jones actually probably his top 10 bet isn't probably too outlandish.
I'm going to jump really far ahead of us right now and say that that makes me think Eric Jones is a very interesting large field
Yeah.
play.
Yes, yes, and that 100,000 GPP, I feel like Eric Jones could be a great under the radar kinda, under 10% owned, I would probably
I
guess.
would imagine, yeah.
Yeah, so I agree with you, Sterling, because I think he could run around there all day, even if he does crack the top 10 or a ninth or even falls back to 15th, I feel like he still in play at whatever price point he's at, which I'm sure isn't very high. So next up, we got driver ratings. So this basically takes everything that we just went over and makes a rating on the driver. And Denny Hamlin, of course, pops off the best. William Byron, probably the two biggest chalk plays tomorrow. And then Reddick, Elliott, Blaney, and there's your boy. He is second, four, six, eighth. Yeah, Eric Jones, eighth best driver rating for Pocono. So, and honestly, Legacy's kind of been on a roll lately.
Yeah.
So,
Him in general too, so
yeah, yep. So I actually, I don't mind that. So, uh, ooh, look at Joey Logano, 74. That's terrible.
which is kind of surprising because when you think of this kind of race, you think of Penske.
Yeah, you do, you do. Um, yeah, Blaney. Trying to look. Kyle Larson, like you said, just doesn't. I mean, yeah, I mean he's seventh, which is okay, but where Larson's priced at, I don't know. I feel like Larson's almost the fade this week. This is pass optimals.
Oh, what the
Uh,
hell? I forgot. I didn't get that far into it. My bad.
oh, you're all right. You're all right. So we will go. This is kind of nice here. This is percentage of laps led from starting position. So we see the pole setter lead about 15% of laps right here, 37%, 13%. So the pole setter typically does lead a little bit here, Sterling. So that's good for, yeah, I think tomorrow. I think Denning Hamlin pretty much takes that from the get go.
Yeah, and one thing I want to point out about the optimals is like if you look at the 2022 one, the highest score was ironically Eric Jones with 63.2. Highest score in 2023 was Chase Elliott with a 60.8. And then last year it was Ryan Blaney with a 72.9. So that makes me feel like we're really going to be digging into that place differential.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, with this being, what is it, 160
60.
laps? Yeah, so we're looking at about 100 Dom points. So I think we're looking more place differential. I think if you can get the DOMs, like that's icing on the cake, but I don't feel like you need, we're not chasing, the guy starting first, third, fifth. You know what I mean? You're not playing all three of them. You're playing one, maybe two, and then probably place differential.
Yeah, I definitely don't see a need for any more than 2.
No, no. One thing worth noting: Eric Jones has been optimal in two of the three.
Yeah, that's I'll have to this chart will be finished when it's posted in the Discord, so
Yeah, yeah, and it's all good. Like I said, we both been busy. Said that obviously we been slacking on the show the last 2 weeks. I haven't been able to get to it. So now let's go over to DraftKings. So driver by driver. Uh, all right. So in the five-figure range, Sterling, we got Hamlin, Blaney, Larson, Byron, Bell. So, like I said, Hamlin, he's popped off on every single chart that you just made. So I feel like you have to play Hamlin. Um,
I do too, and not to, like, jump down, but I feel like Busher makes a great pivot off of him. I don't really have any interest in playing those guys together. I'm
no,
not saying that it's not gonna get there, I just think it's very unlikely.
yeah, yeah. You'd almost need one or both of them to lead the whole race. Or well, you need, yeah, and then the other one to get some fast offs to make that pay off. But yeah, in the five-figure range, Sterling, it's gonna get this is gonna get hard. I mean, I almost have probably zero to very little interest in Christopher Bell here, just because you're gonna want to get to them other guys. Um, I'm probably gonna be close to a full fade on Larson, if not a complete full fade. And then I'm gonna be very high on Byron, of course. I mean, that's just I think the chalk that we're gonna have to eat. I don't see Byron really burning us. Um, and then I'm
Now,
gonna so I think it's basically gonna be my ranking, and you can chime in. Hamlin, Byron, Blaney, Bell, Larson.
I would I'd probably go exactly the same order.
Yeah, and I mean, if you put Larson over Bell, I wouldn't argue that one just because Larson does have the place different. I just feel like Bell's just going to be around a maybe top five car, and
I
that's
think he makes an interesting large field play. If you're doing, like,
yeah,
single entry or high dollar stuff, I probably would just stay away from him.
yeah.
But this is the type of track that we do see him actually excel at. It didn't show in the chart, but I obviously it's a giant track, but I think it runs more like a short track as far as driver style.
I honestly I couldn't agree more. Like if you want to throw your dart, and do the Christopher Bell play, because I think a lot of people are going to think how we think and probably not play Christopher Bell and play the other guys. Like Christopher Bell's a hard click there. But
If you want a hardcore GPP style core, Bell and Busher, I think would make a very interesting start.
yes, yes, I definitely agree. So going down to the $9,000 range, I guess what do we got? Four guys here. We got Reddick, Logano, and Chastain. Man, I was having this conversation with actually Teixeira. He was asking me like, "What's up with Reddick?" And I was like, "Dude, I don't know. Like last year, he was a regular season champion. Um, this year we just haven't really seen.
No, that he has taken a huge step backwards, and it makes no sense.
It doesn't like they didn't change crew chiefs. They didn't change anything. Um, I'm
The
correct on
team
that,
in
right?
general, like, even Bubba hasn't really been great. Like, not that Bubba's ever been incredible, but
Right, but I mean, I will give Bubba
maybe
and their crew chief, like, he's got stage points. Like, it was a couple weeks ago, I saw that stat where, like, he was actually first in the amount of stage points up until that point in the season. Um,
pretty disappointed it took me this long to, like, think of this, but third car. They're running 3 full-time cars this season.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, I'm right there with you, Sterling. I didn't think of that either. Tashira asked me that, on the Discord, and I was like, "Man, I couldn't tell you." Like, last year, he was absolutely
I
couldn't
just
stop him,
I
and I
didn't think
don't.
a third car would
Yeah.
honestly affect a team of that caliber as much as what we're seeing.
Yeah, and that's the only logical explanation I think I've got, would be that third car. That's good thinking. I honestly didn't even think of that. So, we saw on the charts Logano doesn't really run good here, so I'm not really interested in Logano.
Now,
And
if
go
he was cheaper, you can make an argument for him, but I can't pay
Yeah,
9,200 for him.
nope. And going back, obviously, what we just talked about with Reddick, I've really got no interest in Reddick, to be completely honest with you.
I
Uh,
do think Chase Elliott makes a
yes,
great play, though. This is
yes.
another one of those guys that you see excel on short flat tracks. Obviously, this one's not short. You do see him typically do better on road courses, and I think the braking and throttle control is going to be very similar.
I couldn't agree more. We saw Chase Elliott pop on the charts, so um, yeah, I actually I like Chase Elliott because I think a lot of people are going to go like the Hamlin, Byron, and then probably try to shove Blaney and or Larson in there. So I think Chase Elliott would be a decent pay down and a lesser owned pay down, I guess I should say, because I mean there's going to be some more pay down PD, but I think if Elliott scores a top 5 here, it would not surprise probably either one of us.
No, that's I'm going to look it up real quick, but I feel like he is probably actually minus odds for a top five.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, DraftKings,
Oh yeah, you did say
I
that.
just looked
They got
and they're not.
race winners, but not any
Yeah.
top.
Yeah. So that's something to keep an eye on. Like Sterling said, what the odds are when obviously tomorrow or later on tonight. Ross Chastain, that's another interesting one. He always seems to like have speed here, but um I don't
It's
know.
also another team that is somewhat taking a step backwards.
Yeah, and I mean, could that be the third car also? But
I think we're developing a pattern here.
yeah, yeah, teams get too big, a little too fast.
Cough, cough, colleague.
Yeah, yeah. I honestly kind of like obviously we'll get to him later, but like Carson Hocevar, all right, like this is what kind of scares me with Carson Hocevar is like we saw Ross Chastain kind of do this same thing a couple years ago, and I just hope that Carson doesn't get the Ross Chastain treatment, and then just kind of I don't want to say Ross Chastain disappeared, but like man,
Got
if
very timid.
oh man, if you remember, there was a stretch of races where Ross Chastain was competing for the win every single week and just being overly aggressive and like I
I
I,
don't
I liked it, but
Yeah,
like
I don't think we see that with Carson until Stenhouse beats his ass, but which speaking of that, I would look for Stenhouse to put that motherfucker in the wall this week.
you're not a Carson fan?
I'm not against him. I just think, I mean, 2 of 3 weeks, the guy wrecks him.
Yeah, yeah.
It's Ricky Stenhouse, we already know, isn't a guy that is afraid to fuck around.
No,
So,
he's not. I mean, the thing is, Carson's a tall, lengthy bastard. I mean, he doesn't have a lot of muscle on him, but
you know, it would be hilarious if Stenhouse shows up to the track tomorrow in SpongeBob shorts.
oh, it could happen. It could happen. That or Daniel Suarez takes out Carson for his Mexico comment. But
Send that fucker back to the Mexico series.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, I mean, going back to Ross Chastain, I mean, you're absolutely right. It's just Trackhouse just isn't really the same. I don't think I could pay 9,000 for Ross Chastain.
No, but I will say, like, I personally don't really have any interest in playing him, but I do think he's an interesting pivot off those other
Yeah.
bigger names that have the PD.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Like, if you wanted to, like, go different and don't even play Byron and, like, or any of them other top guys and just went, like, Hamlin, Chastain, and Elliott, like, that would be way, or even if you wanted to go completely crazy and go Busher, Chastain, Elliott as your 3, and then
Yeah, and then you
then
could
go
probably even have enough to get off the Bubba chalk and go to, like, Bowman or even
yeah.
Cindric. Cindric has he's stepped it up a little bit.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah,
I think he
exactly.
knows he
Yeah.
doesn't have daddy to fall back on anymore, so
Yeah, this is a week where, like, you could get kinda weird and, like, not necessarily feel bad about it when the race starts, but, I mean, you're gonna probably feel bad about it after the race ends, but, like
this is the perfect week, though. Like, we got
oh,
all this PD. It's
yep,
gonna be a very concentrated ownership,
yep.
and I think there's some very logical pivots.
And to be honest, like we talked about, this is a normally a fuel strategy race, so it's like, who doesn't say that, Byron gets up to 5th, but then some kinda weird pit road strategy and
And for some reason, those Fords always seem to have better mileage, so that just
oh, yeah.
screams Chris Buescher.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely a week where you can get weird, and I don't hate it. Uh, so $8,000 range. We got Chris Buescher, Brad Keselowski, Ty Gibbs, uh, Kyle Busch. So we've already talked about Chris Buescher enough. Obviously, starting outside, front row. He's a great pivot off Denny Hamlin. If you're playing Denny Hamlin, do not play Chris Buescher. I don't think that pays off. There's not enough laps um, for both of them to kind of eat. I don't feel like
No, you need the absolute perfect race for that to
yeah,
happen,
yeah, you
and
need
the
per
way that we're most likely gonna see both of those guys short pit, it doesn't really open up a whole lot for that to happen.
Yep, yep. Brad Keselowski, I did see he was like one of the fastest in his groups. Um, but I don't know. I don't know if I can really get to him. Sterling, how do you feel about Keselowski?
Not a big fan. He was one of the faster cars, but he was in Group A, and I'm just gonna assume Group A was the faster group. I don't have that stuff actually sorted yet, so I can't give you a definite answer on his practice, but he's just a guy that I feel like he isn't necessarily out there as a driver anymore, more
Yeah,
so out there as a car owner that's just trying to be consistent and really just not cost the team any money.
yeah. Who do you think the best driver at RFK is right now?
I'm a big Busher fan, so I got to
Yeah.
go there.
Do you think Priest is kind of knocking on that heel though?
I do,
How
but
do you?
I've also always been a Priest fan, so
Yeah, I honestly, I'm right there with you. I know we take flack from Ben in the Discord, but I've always been a Priest fan. I'm glad he's finally getting like this opportunity. And I'm with you. I think Busher still has it. I saw that on Twitter the other day. Like, is Ryan Priest technically the best driver at RFK? I don't think he's there yet.
no.
But I mean, I do think like at least the conversation's there now. Like, I'm sure if you would have brought this up in Daytona at the beginning of the year, like, oh, he's the best driver, I bet like, there's no discussion. Chris Buescher. So I'm really happy that for Ryan Priest, for us being Ryan Priest fans, I'm happy that this is like getting brought up. But let's I think cool the Jets just a tad.
Yeah.
But like I said, happy for Ryan Priest and happy that this is, like I said, getting talked about. But Ty Gibbs starting 7th. This is Ty Gibbs' like a good Ty Gibbs track. Obviously, like I said, he would last year when I was there, I remember him qualifying on the pole, being super fast in practice. They had the weird pit road strategy or whatever, and completely fell out of it as soon as everybody started pitting.
I don't know what it is with Joe Gibbs Racing, but they seem to always find a way to fuck up on strategy,
Yep.
which
Yep.
scares me with Hamlin. Like, I can see them telling him to stay out and win the fucking stage, and then he is just trapped in fucking 20th.
Yeah. So I if Ty Gibbs is off, it wouldn't surprise me. I can't do it. Um,
No, not starting 7th at 8,400. There's no reason for him to be more than like 5 to 8% owned. So I'm just gonna
yeah.
take the shot and not play him.
Yeah, I am too. Kyle Busch, man, this guy is just he pisses me off every week.
I
Um,
think he pisses himself off every week too.
yeah, I just if he beats me at this point, I keep telling myself that, and then I keep falling for it, and then he just keeps doing this stupid shit that he does, like locking his brakes up last week. I don't know. That was dumb. So I'm not playing Kyle Busch. I mean, could I could I see it being optimal? Absolutely. Starting 26, it kind of seems enticing. I can't do it personally.
I think he's gonna be one of the lower owned PD guys. So there's your argument to
No,
play him.
I can't do it, Sterling. I mean, hey,
I'm not doing
if
it,
anybody
but
out there in listener land wants to play him, I completely, yeah, I could see the argument for him. Absolutely. It's just, yeah, man, is he just looking bad? But you're absolutely right, Sterling. I mean, he's probably the gamble PD player on the slate. Like,
Hammer Bowman,
yeah, absolutely. Like, I could see Kyle Busch coming out here and getting the top 5. I could see Kyle Busch coming out here and
RCR is another team you think of when you think of fuel. So
I know, yeah, but then last year he was getting outran by Cody Ware on that big long straightaway. That pissed
yeah,
me
but
off.
to clarify things, we are out on Kyle Busch.
Yes, yes. Yeah. So $7,000 range. Let's go to brighter skies here.
Let's start
Okay.
just these top two since they start that far forward. Briscoe and Hocevar. If you have to pick one, who is it? For me, I think you got to go Hocevar.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm not playing Briscoe right now. Briscoe to me is kind of, especially starting 6th. I can't touch Briscoe.
No, and it sucks because he's one of those guys that like all year I've been saying I'm gonna be the first one on him. Like he's
Yeah.
gonna solo me 100K here at some point.
Yep.
I can't
I,
do it this week.
I can't either. I mean, it's just I hope that I'm with you, Sterling. I mean, he's definitely a talented racer. I'm glad he's getting this opportunity. Kind of with Ben. I think it should have been Corey Haim's ride. But yeah, I mean, getting the pole 3 weeks in a row and just completely doing nothing with it. And I mean, it looks like they're showing speed in practice and qualifying, but just their race trim is just terrible. I
And
mean,
he's never been an aggressive driver.
yeah,
And
yeah, he
in
has.
this car, you have to be. If you
Yeah.
have any kind of shot to make a pass, you have to take it. And he's not that guy.
Huh. I wonder why Carson Hocevar is so successful lately.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you have to be a dickhead. I mean, door bumper clear guys, on DBC they talk about it all the time. You have to be a dickhead to be successful in these cars. So
As the saying goes, we're not on the track to make friends.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
I'll be your friend in the pits, but when we're on that track, fuck you.
Yep, yep. And yeah, next in that 7K range, Bubba. Obviously one of them guys that could be the mega chalk. Starting 34th. I believe he was pretty fast in practice from what I saw. Obviously gonna be, like I said, chalk. I'm definitely gonna want to try to build with him in there. I haven't done any building yet. I don't know you know, what you can really stuff in there as far as because, like I said, I'm probably gonna start off every build with Hamlin, Byron. I'll probably maybe make a couple that are different, but like that's basically gonna be my main build. So I think I'm gonna be able to shove Bubba in there, but we're gonna see.
Bubba was a top 3 car in practice, and he was
Yeah.
in Group B. So
Ooh, yeah. So yeah, definitely might start off the builds then with Byron, Hamlin, and Bubba. I think that's a good starting point, and that would leave you. We're just gonna go ahead and do this super quick. Hamlin, Byron. Yeah, that would still leave you with 7,000 a driver. So that's not terrible. That doesn't leave you in no man's land or anything where you're having to like completely double punt. So Alex Bowman, we kind of talked about him. I think he's also one of them guys that man, did he burn me last week. I saw them reports where his back was bothering him and this, that, and the other. So I kind of like took him out of a lot of lineups. Definitely burned me.
yeah, that's
So
last week was not good to me.
no. So Bowman's starting 25th. I think he's gonna be another driver I think I'm gonna try to be high on. Obviously, if we did the Bubba Bowman, Hamlin, Byron, that's still yeah, that'd leave you 6,800. I don't think that's horrible. I actually kind of like that start.
Yeah.
So, you kind of talked about Cindric. I agree with you with Cindric. I mean, this is kind of like Penske's. Ryan Blaney always really runs good here. Obviously, we saw Ryan Blaney win here with the Wood brothers. Um, it does just always other than Denny Hamlin. I know Denny Hamlin this is his playground, but it always seems like when Denny Hamlin doesn't win, it's always like a Penske-ish Ford that like pulls through. Um, so I think Cindric has to be in that large field GPP kind of pivot off these guys.
Yeah, he had top five speed in practice. He was also in Group B, and he also falls into the category of short, flat track,
Yep,
road course style of braking.
absolutely, absolutely. This one's a tough one for me. Ryan Priest starting 13th. I definitely think like he's been showing the speed as of late. I'll pull up his stats here. Yeah, I mean 15th in Mexico there, and then 8th, 28th, 9th. So like he's definitely obviously top 11, 3 out of the last 5 weeks. Definitely could stay up there. I mean, he could be one of them guys that could be a pivot off. Maybe he does. He's like the Eric Jones type play that isn't as risky, I should say.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking, actually. I think those two, I think there's a very strong chance that one of those two wins somebody quite a bit of money.
Yeah, yeah, I could definitely see it. Like I said, I completely like the Eric Jones play, and this isn't me shitting on the Eric Jones play. I like the Eric Jones play. I just like it. Ryan Priest's equipment, Ryan Priest. I think that's a little bit better, but I still like both of them. So definitely don't play them together.
No.
Definitely limit that play to one if you want to try to be different. Play one of them, but then again, I think Jones is going to be lower owned. So if like you're looking for the leverage, definitely Eric Jones. If you're looking for the safe play, I like Ryan Priest, but I feel like they're kind of the same ish play.
Yeah.
Next up, 6K range. We got Josh Berry, Daniel Suarez, Ricky Stenhouse, Eric Jones, like we talked about, Michael McDowell, AJ Allmendinger, and SVG. So first off, we know, like I said, Ryan Blaney's one here in the Wood Brothers car. Josh Berry, what was that one stat that he kind of popped off on last year? Was that
He had like 12 fastest laps. He
yeah,
does have an Xfinity win here. Not to keep repeating myself, but he also falls into the short track
yeah.
braking style category.
I read on Twitter. I'm not sure if it's true. Like I didn't have service all day today, so I didn't get a chance to watch practice qualifying. I read on Twitter that his diffuser, I believe his car bottomed out real bad, so they had to make an adjustment. They replace the diffuser. Um, that's what I read online. I'm not sure if that's 100% accurate, but I don't mind the Josh Berry play. Uh,
No, it's I feel like you probably need him and or Bubba.
yeah, yep,
If I had to pick one, though, I think Barry's my favorite.
yeah. I would agree with you. I would agree with you. Daniel Suarez starting 10th. I have zero interest.
No.
Stenhouse starting 30th. This is one that I think's kind of intriguing to me. Um, that team's kind of been under the radar fast.
They have. This isn't a track I think of when I think Ricky Stenhouse, though. Of course, there's not very many that I do. But, I mean, you're probably going to have to get down into this range for one guy.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
honestly, I think Allmendinger might be my favorite.
And I was actually thinking about that. So Stenhouse has a 33rd, a 7th, and a 20th here. I'm going to look at his average running position super quick. 23rd, 19th, and 17th is his running position. So he's normally a 20th place car as far as running position. So
And
that's,
then to
that's not
bounce to the other side of that, Allmendinger has a 21st and a 17th.
okay.
Then you got McDowell, who has a 24th, 19th, and an 8th. So,
Yeah. Yeah. So I like either three of those play. SVG, I felt like could be a sneaky good play, but I think he outqualified himself. Um, I
yeah.
I personally think so. I know it's you could still probably play him and risk it, but I'm not doing it. But I don't mind Allmendinger, McDowell, Stenhouse in this range, and obviously Josh Berry. We talked about Josh Berry, but and Eric Jones, like I said, is that not so place differential play that we kind of like. So, 5K range, Sterling. We got Zane Smith, Noah Gregson, Todd Gillen, Justin Haley, Austin Dillon, John Hunter Nemechek, Cole Custer, and Ty Dillon. Obviously, Custer and Nemechek, we have zero interest in playing. I'm gonna probably go out on a limb and say that. Dillon starting 16th. I don't think I have any interest in that. Ty Dillon starting 27th. I don't mind that for $5,000. I think everybody's going to click Todd Gillen starting 32nd.
I would imagine, yeah.
Zane Smith, I could see him running around 15th all day. I don't think that's a horrible play. I don't love it. But I don't think it's like the end of the world if you want to risk it. But I'm probably going to eat the chalk in this range and go Gilliland and probably Ty Dillon.
I would agree. Obviously, I don't have any interest in Nemechek or Custer. Maybe some
Um,
people fall into that trap because they managed to run well last week, but
yeah, I have zero interest. So, I mean, are you pretty much Ty Dillon, Gilliland, and like I said, I don't mind the Zane Smith. I just don't love it. If you want to play him, I don't hate it. Like I think he has the capability of running around there, which is probably all you need him to do.
yeah, I can't really do it. I feel
Mhm.
like Gilly I would probably rather play Haley than Zane.
Yeah, yeah, I get that. What? And that's another one. Justin Haley. He just yeah, 24th, 21st, 32nd, 30th. There he was. Oh, that's in the open, so that was only out of 20 probably cars. Yeah, he's another one that just last year he was Cinderella story, and this year he just hasn't been anything. Um, yeah, I don't know. And then the whole Rodney Childers thing
Yeah,
that was weird. I wonder if he has something to do with Dodge coming back.
that'd
I
be cool.
I don't know if you follow him on Twitter, but he like retweets a lot of Dodge
Oh, yeah?
Dodge stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised if I wouldn't think he'd like quote unquote go down and be a crew chief or whatever for the truck series, but maybe he'll be some kind of
Maybe he'll like oversee Dodge in
yeah.
general.
I honestly I would not be surprised just the way that he's been talking on Twitter about Dodge. And then the 4K guy or yeah, 4K guys, I have no interest. I mean, if you have to play him, you have to play him.
If you're down there, I hate to say it, but it's probably Cody Ware, just
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
don't see Riley Herbst
Mm-mm.
going really any further forward than he is. And
No.
Brennan Poole, there, I would be very shocked if that car finishes the race.
I'd be surprised if that car makes it 15 laps.
Yeah, if that car finishes stage one, it's a win.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I would probably take that minus money if there was a bet that says, "Does Brendan Poole finish stage 1?" And if it was, like, negative 300, I think I'd make that bet. Well, that he doesn't,
Yeah,
if you get what I'm saying. So, I don't think he'll make it to the end of stage 1 at all. So, but, yeah, I guess that's it, Sterling. So, do we wanna finish this out with our favorite plays?
fuck it, might as well.
Alright, so is Bowman
Holy shit,
Wallace
with what we got left, if that's what we're rolling with, you
it
gotta just throw Barry in.
that's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking. So if we throw Barry in, that would give us then how Eric Jones, McDowell, Allmendinger. I honestly don't mind that. I mean,
Take
if we want
Bowman out
alright, let's take Bowman out. Okay.
and go back up and
Elliott?
yes.
Okay, so that does leave
Gives us Cody Ware.
oh, does it? Okay. Yes, it does. Okay. I don't mind that.
No, I don't hate it. I'm not in love with it, but
I'm not either. Let's oh, so what if we go I don't wanna get rid of Barry, but what if we get so that leaves us with 58. Let's say we go Ty Dillon. That leaves us with 66. Um, Eric Jones or McDowell or Stenhouse or Allmendinger. We could go Allmendinger. I mean, I don't hate that. What if we take Elliott out? I think that's basically our core 3.
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Um Yeah, I do wanna try to shove Chase Elliott in the most of my lineups, but I don't know. Like you said, I mean, how often you're gonna be able to get there. Josh Berry.
If you were to take Hamlin out for Busher, that would leave you like
Oh, man.
7,700 per the remaining 3.
Yeah, I don't hate that. So, what if we went Busher, so Berry, Wallace, Busher, Byron at 8,200. So we could even at that point go Chase Elliott and 900. That would leave us in that Daniel Suarez, Ricky Stenhouse. It always seems like we're falling to that.
Yeah, which I'm gonna try to stay out of that range, but
Uh,
clearly it doesn't look like we're gonna be able to.
no, I feel like we're gonna fall into this range all the time, and I can't play Daniel Suarez. So I feel like yeah, I feel like it's either gonna be a little bit of Eric Jones, a little bit of Ricky, and probably a little bit of Allmendinger, probably a little bit of McDowell.
Yeah.
I I don't mind either of those 4 plays, so but yeah. But other than that, guys, that's I think that's all we got. So
Yeah.
if anybody has any questions, definitely shoot it over in the comment section or join that Discord. And honestly, guys, most of the time come tomorrow, we'll probably be talking DFS and racing up until the green flag, and then even after the green flag. Yeah, we're still talking racing. So, other than that, guys, we will see you next week. Where are we next week?
Atlanta.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, these next three races are straight ass.
Yeah, we had a good stretch there. I'm not a big Atlanta fan, but hey,
Atlanta, Chicago, Sonoma.
yeah, that's not good.
It's a great time to take a break.
Yeah, yeah. I think, yeah, like you said, it might be, but we'll still be bringing you content. We'll try not to miss any more weeks. Like I said, that was my fault. So, but other than that, guys, I appreciate you guys watching, and definitely talk to you guys in the Discord. Let's win some money.
Yep, see ya. Good luck. Let's